Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to review season 1 of Netflix's original show, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. This is executive produced by Steven Spielberg, Colin Trevorrow. DreamWorks Animation Studio did this project. DreamWorks Animation is a subdivision of DreamWorks. DreamWorks was originally created by Steven Spielberg through Amblin, so this is a whole circle back to Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. This show is 8 episodes long, 23-ish minutes per episode, give or take. So it's what, 2 hours, 40 minutes long in total? It's a movie. And you have to watch it like a movie. I laughed. I cried. I did not expect to cry, but I did cry. I got goosebumps all over my body at various points. At the end of most of those episodes, my jaw went. And I'm in such awe and admiration for the creators and the writers. There was a lot of female writers in this show, and it gives us such a sense of unity with these kids, and division and separation, but unity and strength and coming together, and I'm so blown away with how incredible this show was. This is a kids show on Netflix. I've read so many reviews that this is the most violent and scary kids show, comparable to scare factors of Goosebumps from back in the 90s. But I remember as a kid in the 90s being scared of certain Goosebumps episodes. I do. But this was a scary show. This wasn't a means of like dinosaurs jumping and scaring you as like a jump scare. This was terror because like there's loss. You see actual death. There's fright. You know, am I going to get eaten? Am I not going to get eaten? Am I going to survive because I have a sprained ankle? You know, am I going to... The kid who's dangling out of a monorail, who I'm trying to pull up, gets taken by a pteranodon. Is he still alive? Is he dead? What happens to the baby ankylosaur that I jump out of a moving monorail with, who just disappears? You know, what happens next? I don't know how to talk about this because there's so much to talk about plot-wise, but like I don't want to give details. Like, this is the first review that I'm so terrified to talk about actual story because of how perfectly crafted this was. I mean, we could talk about certain things. We could talk about dinosaurs. We can talk about how I just need to like I need to hug something. Like I'll just hug Rexy because it was such a painful show to watch, but it was so beautiful. And it's not over. And there needs to be a season 2 slated immediately. Immediately. Okay. Camp Cretaceous is a camp kind of northern parts of the park, where the main park, northern part of the island, where the main park is like the southern part of the island / middle-ish part of the island. Okay. So Camp Cretaceous is pitched as it could hold 500 kids. They'll do dinosaur-themed explorations. They'll go kayaking. They'll go rock climbing. They'll do this adventure. They'll do that adventure, right? Learn stuff, see DNA labs, etc. Henry Wu is in this. We actually get answers to this as to the other company that is trying to get dinosaur DNA and why Wu is working with them or for them, aside from InGen. And we have a main character in this show who is a spy for this other company to get dino samples and information and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat seeing that behind the scenes that we know existed, but we didn't actually know like the name of the company. I'm going to stay quiet about it. But this show takes place in between Jurassic World. So Claire Dearing is named countless times. There's a voicemail to Claire from one of the camp counselors about her 2 nephews who were supposed to stop by Camp Cretaceous at one point. But because the Indominus broke out of the exhibit, all hell broke loose. So we have these 6 kids. I knew that Sean Giambrone was going to be in this. I love Sean. Sean is awesome. And I knew he was going to be playing a character. I didn't know who specifically. And that was it. I didn't know anybody else that was in this project, but while I was watching it, all of a sudden, this character, Kenji, who is perfect, by the way, love his shirt. It's blue throughout the 8 episodes. It's blue, and it's got this, like, white cutout here, but, like, it's an overlap, and, like, there's a white stripe on the shoulders on both sides. Obsessed. I love color block. Awesome design. Thank you, everyone. And I'm listening, and I'm like, that's Ryan Potter's voice. I was like, there's no way in hell that Ryan Potter is not the voice of Kenji right now. Ryan Potter is Hiro Hamada of Big Hero 6 and Big Hero 6 the series. So I looked it up immediately, and I was like, holy shit, it is Ryan Potter. And I was like, my ears are good. And then you had Rainey Rodriguez from Disney, from her Disney alum, voicing the character of Sammy. And then you have this kid Darius, and then you have this kid Yasmina, and then you have this kid Brooklyn. So those are your 6 kids, test kids of Camp Cretaceous. Then Glenn Powell is voicing this Camp Counselor Dave, and I forget her name, but she was in The Good Place. She's from an Indian background, but she has a heavy British accent. So they keep her character literally in tune to the Indian physicality and the British voice, right? Kenji is Asian. He is played by an Asian. Ben is Caucasian. He's played by a Caucasian. Sammy is Latinx. She is played by a Latinx. Like, I really enjoyed that the voice actors played their respected ethnicity, like, on the screen. Like, there was a lot of realism to it. Loved it. I loved that the main signs were in English, like Doc this way or Jurassic Park, right? But anytime, like, a character was, like, reading something, or, like, Glenn Powell's character of Dave was, like, reading a birthday card, and, like, the words are in gibberish. So, like, you can't, it's just random signs. So it translates well because any country doesn't have to worry about trying to read it, because nobody can read it. It's not even subtitled. It's just the voices can be subtitled or translated or whatever. So that is smart. I'm very happy they did that. I was super impressed on a digital standpoint that a lot of the characters, not a lot of them, but Darius and Kenji were shown sleeping with just shorts and a shirt, like, in their bunk. So, like, no socks, no shoes, no long pants, nothing like that. And, like, there was 10 toes and 10 fingers animated in the same space. And, like, that's hard to do. And, like, to have them actually move, I was very impressed with that, just from an art standpoint. What else? Man, like, it's the kids go to camp, right? And then, like, there's a let's sneak out at night, and then some of them go into a raptor exhibit unintentionally. Then there's a, hey, let's explore and meet up with a Carnotaur. Oh my god, the Carnotaurs are so cool. It's so awesome. And they inadvertently hurt him at her, and they call her him, but they call him Toro. And then Toro's just like an antagonist dinosaur throughout the season. But the Indominus Rex is a part of this as well. And, like, you see the Indominus, like, after it escapes, and, like, in between the battle scenes that we see Colin Trevorrow, that we see Owen Grady and Claire Daring and her nephews, like, we see all of those after effects. So, like, when Zach and Gray get out of their gyrosphere in Jurassic World after the Ankylosaur is killed, and then they get away and do their thing, that's when our Camp Cretaceous kids come into the picture, and, like, they see that aftermath, and they're like, oh shit, like, what's going on? And then we see the Indominus after Nosrati's helicopter is chasing it, and then crashes into the aviary. And we see that in the movie, but we see the behind the scenes of it as well, with the kids' perspective. We see them on the zip lines, we see them in the mosasaur pen, we see them after the parks evacuated in the mosasaur pen. We see a lot of action sequences on the monorail with the pteranodons. Oh my god, it was so incredible that it was an episode and a half on a monorail of pure battle scenes. Like, this was scary. This was terrifying. We had a lot of people being eaten on the screen via dinosaurs, but we never see it. You hear them scream and you hear them, you know, like make those sounds because they're dying, but you don't actually see it. That's how this is still rated TV PG. There's a lot of Compsognathus in this. The Parasaurolophus, oh my god, they have a bioluminescent gene thrown into them, and they're glowing in a cave, and it was so beautiful. And that's the thing. There's the equal parts of wonder versus horror in a Jurassic film, right? We talked about this for Jurassic Park. We talked about this with Jurassic World. Like, these films can be terrifying but gorgeous at the same time, and this show executed the hell out of it. The hell out of it. So, now that all of the folks that were at the park, right, evacuated, but the kids missed the boat, what happens next? They're still on the island. They're still on Isla Nublar with the dinosaurs. Is Toro going to come back? I mean, Blue and Rexy and the Mosasaur destroyed the Indominus, so the Indominus isn't a threat to them anymore. But there's still a lot of meaties out there. You know, what's going to happen? What are they going to do, you know, on the island until someone does rescue them? Will someone ever rescue them? Because we do know that the island does explode, as we've learned in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So I am so curious as to what the next inevitable season is going to be. When the season will come out, I have no idea. But I expected greatness from this show, and I got way more than I expected. I am so honored to be a part of this fandom, because we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, that it's not about the wow dinosaurs. Yeah, it's about the wonder of dinosaurs, but it's about the realism that takes place during these types of moments. These kids in this show suffered extreme amounts of traumatic experiences, extreme PTSD they are about to have. And you see it on their faces. Like, it's amazing how it was animated for a kids' TV show. I am just so amazed. I can praise this until the day I die. And beyond that, because this is now recorded and through the interwebs, I am blown away. So, to that we say, enjoy the show. Keep your tissues handy. Keep your Rexy doll with you at all times, because you're going to go, oh, I would die for Bumpy. I would kill anything or anyone that got in the way in order to save Bumpy. Bumpy needs to be protected at all costs, the baby ankylosaur. And that was a nice little twist in the mix too. Why was Bumpy asymmetric with one bump higher than the other, and why was she born at 10 weeks gestation instead of 13-week gestation? And Dr. Henry Wu was a part of this as well. Incredible. Oh, the behind the scenes was just gorgeous. So let's talk about this. Did you cry as much as I did? I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. I need to now own a Toro toy immediately. I need to go to Target like yesterday. Like, I need this. I need it. Okay, we're good. Mucho mahalo.